Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're going to be diving into Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim, a new book from the Dungeon Dudes that takes the world of Drakkenheim from their YouTube channel and their live stream campaign and opens it up for the players of the world to take their ideas and to truly run with them, and it is one of my favorite books that have come out in recent years. Today we're talking about their class, the Apothecary, their brand new 14th class for D&D, and we're going to be covering the subclass, the Chemist. The Apothecary makes the mad scientists and doctors of the world feel seen, and the Chemist leans into that with the concoction-wielding alchemist, the kind of, spell slinger that the alchemist artificer only wishes that they could add up to. Now, not to compare directly across classes, but the Apothecary is a short rest based, intelligence based, prepared caster. Effectively a warlock of wizards. And it is genuinely an amazing class. I've covered that in a recent video. But the Chemist leans in to a style of play we really, really would love to see. I'll get into the details in just a minute. But before we do, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But also, you get early access to the videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you would like to get a day's early access, members get that. So you can click the join button just below the video if that sounds interesting to you. And if not, it's quite all right. I'm very thankful that you're here watching the content and supporting me on YouTube. So thank you. So, Apothecaries get their subclass right from level 1, and the Chemist starts with a couple key abilities. First, they get an expanded spell list, Chemist spells. This is the greatest hits of elemental damage type. Everything from Burning Hands, and Fireball, and Wall of Fire, to Cone of Cold, to Stinking Cloud, to Cloud Kill. There's so many in here that are staples of damage, and not all of them are the strongest damage dealers in the game, but there is a representation here for all of the right kinds of attack-based spells. I think that the list is a 7 out of 10 overall, solid. You also get Chemical Compound. This grants you two things. First, you get Alchemist's tool proficiencies. That's handy. It is available to every Apothecary as their standard tool proficiencies. So if you know you're going to be a chemist, don't take Alchemists at character creation. Take one of the other options. Because this one, oddly, doesn't give you the option to switch to something else. So build your character smart. But you also get 2 more cantrips. You gain Firebolt and any evocation spell from the wizard's spell list, or from the cantrips. So obviously you're going to take Firebolt because it's given to you, and then grab your favorite other one. Ray of Frost, Chill Touch, Shocking Grasp. There's a couple classic picks from the list. All in all, this gives the Chemist Apothecary a sense of blaster magic that is really, really lacking in the base class, and I say this is a 9 out of 10 feature. Now, at level 3, Apothecaries get their next subclass feature, and this one is called Precise Application, and it's a very familiar sounding subclass feature. Allies that are in the area of effect of any of your elemental-based spells automatically succeed their saving throws, and if they would normally take half damage, they take no damage. This is almost word for word what the evocation wizard gets to protect their allies from their fireballs and other such spells. It is a solid feature on the wizard, and it's certainly a solid feature on the Apothecary. I give it 9 out of 10. Then at level 6, we really start to amp up the power. we get Chain Reaction. This says that when you deal elemental damage, remember we're dealing with base elemental damage, fire, cold, lightning, poison, and acid. But that's the name of the game for a lot of your spells. And Chain Reaction says when you use an cantrip that deals these damage types, you can effectively twin it. When it targets one creature, it instead can target two. So now you're blasting 2 Firebolts, or 2 Ray of Frost, or 2 Shocking Grasps, whatever meets your fancy. This is amazing because there's no limit to it. This isn't proficiency bonus times per day. There's no sorcery points for twinning it. You just do it all the time. So yeah, that takes your baseline power cantrips and just doubles them up. 10 out of 10. Also at level 6, you gain a defensive feature, Chemical Conditioning, where you can touch a creature, and for 1 hour, you can grant them resistance to an elemental damage type. Acid, poison, fire, cold, and lightning. This is really awesome. It can be yourself, it can be one of your allies, and damage resistance is really, really valuable, especially when you're an intelligence-based caster who's done their research. Divvying out resistance in key moments is very powerful, and again, there's no limit to this. You can just do this, and you can only have one active at a time. This is solid power, and I say 10 out of 10 again. Then at level 10, you gain the Bottled Spells feature, and this is where the Chemist starts to shine really bright. You can store a spell in a bottle, in a potion, effectively. You can then give this to another person, and they can cast the spell using your spell bonus and your spell save DC, but in all other aspects, specifically in concentration, it's like they cast it. You hand this to one of your martial classes, especially fighters with constitution saving throws, and they can focus on a spell, doubling up your concentration from your spell list. Now, you can only do this once per short rest, but this is very similar to the Chronergy Wizard from Wildmount and their beaded spells. Same kind of concept. And yeah, you can do this once per short rest, and it is an incredibly powerful feature, doubling up concentration. Obviously, if you've got a party of casters, it loses a little bit of potency because everyone's probably going to be concentrating on something anyway. But yeah, I still think this is well worth a 10 out of 10. This could be their most powerful feature, to be honest. It is absolutely game-breakingly strong to be able to add extra concentration effects. Then at level 14, you gain the Elemental Adjust feature, and this is a simple one. Whenever you cast an elemental spell, a leveled elemental spell, this doesn't work with cantrips, you can swap the damage type for a different element. So swap fire for cold, swap lightning for poison, etc. Switch them around. It's a lot of fun, and it certainly could be handy in overcoming resistances and stylizing your points. Instead of Cone of Cold, it's Cone of Fire, making you feel like a dragon. In any case, I think it's a solid ability. Not too game-breakingly powerful, but certainly fun and thematic. I say 8 out of 10. Then, finally, you gain the ability Chemical Cataclysm at level 18. And this one, oh boy. Apothecaries are casters like warlocks. They get spell slots up to level 5 spell slots, which come back on a short rest. And then they gain greater formulas, which are their 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th spell slots, which aren't spell slots. They're just abilities that let you cast higher level spells. But most of your leveled spells will be 5th level spells from at the end game. But Chemical Cataclysm says when you cast a leveled elemental spell, so once again, we're leaning into fireballs and Cone of Colds and the rest of them, your spells are all automatically upcast to 7th level. You're already upcasting your fireballs. You're already throwing your 3rd level fireballs up to 5th level because that's all you've got is 5th level spell slots. This upcasts them 2 more levels. It takes your Cones of Cold and upcasts them 2 levels. all of your elemental spells suddenly get a boost in power equivalent to 2 spell slot levels. That's insane, and there's no limit other than how many spell slots you have. Your spell slots have just increased in power above most other apothecaries, at least when it comes to blasting. This is amazingly strong and grants a 10 out of 10 to the level 18 feature. It's amazing. The Chemist is the blaster apothecary. There's no question about that. Throwing fireballs, throwing cloud kills, and granting resistances to their allies, keeping them safe from their damaging spells. They don't have a whole lot when it comes to utility, other than that double concentration thing. But genuinely, all of their powers increase what you're gonna be doing during combat. Blowing people up. And who doesn't love to blow people up? All in all, the Chemist Apothecary I grant a 9 out of 10. It is very singular focused, very focused on damage, but when you're gonna pick a thing to be focused on, what else are you gonna pick? That's an incredible thing to focus on. So Dungeon Dudes, thank you for building the Apothecary Chemist so we can all be hucking our fireballs as doctors instead of as wizards. It's a really cool kind of subclass. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and have a look at Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim. I'll link it down in the description. It's by Ghostfire Games, and the Dungeon Dudes are some of the best D&D YouTubers out there. They deserve your support, so please check them out. Have a good one, my friends.